Have you ever opened a text from a friend? Maybe it's a busy time or you're distracted, so you think, I'll respond later.
Then later never actually happens?
Later is more of a concept than an actual time.
Or you read the message, compose an entire response in your head. It's thoughtful, it's articulate, you put a little work into it, and send absolutely nothing.
A few days go by, you're wondering, why haven't you heard back from your friend after such a well thought out message? You realize you're the one that didn't respond.
Oh shit, I never hit send.
You end up staring at the screen trying to figure out how to re enter the conversation.
The longer you think about it, the harder it is to hit send.
This is Angry on the Inside. I'm Jess.
I'm Jeannine. We're both certified ADHD coaches, but this podcast isn't coaching.
It's not therapy and it's not medical advice.
It's real, honest conversations about being women with late diagnosed ADHD and everything that goes along with it.
Take what resonates and leave the rest. Today, we're talking about ghosting friends.
The accidental kind, where you absolutely did not mean to disappear, but somehow you did.
This is one of the strangest ADHD friendship moments when you realize weeks later that you never answered somebody when you're sitting there wondering why they never answered you back.
It's so awkward. You see the message,
I meant to reply to that later.
and later was apparently 3 Thursdays ago.
You feel like this existential dread. It is a hard transition where ADHD time blindness can kind of kick you in the jimmy.
That, time is slippery because it's not a linear concept.
ADHD brains tend to organize life into two categories, now and not now.
If something lands in that not now, it's just suddenly like out of your line of vision.
Not because you decided to ignore someone by any means.
Your brain lost the thread.
Which does suck. I cannot tell you how many times I have been sitting bummed. What if they don't like me? What if I replied back and I seemed weird? You're so bummed only to realize it's you.
I am embarrassed to say how many times I've done that, where I literally didn't reply, but was standing in the grocery line and read the text and in my mind replied. Or worse, where I've actually entered all the words and just somehow never hit send.
I'm going to quote your girl, Taylor. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. It doesn't mean that every time it's me, but we're talking about the side of ghosting when you're the one doing the ghosting and you don't realize it and it's unintentional. A lot of it comes from the realities of how ADHD shows up in your life. Something that I share in is the out of sight, out of mind.
That phrase totally gets misunderstood.
Right? I agree. It's said and heard, but it's tied to more assumptions than actual understanding.
It sounds like you just don't care. I'm not seeing you. I don't even know you exist. For me, it's not that person is not important. Somehow my brain's not queuing me up. I've lost that little reminder that's saying, hey, you need to get back. You need to text that person back. It's not that I don't care. It's a disconnect.
It is a disconnect. And I think when you say, oh, I'm one of those out of sight, out of mind people hear you're being dismissive of them. And that is not the case at all. It's a case of more like an apology, but people don't realize that. You're not going into an extensive explanation of it. And this is one of those topics where it's good to know or good to be open about neurodiversity with your friends and what that actually means, but also understanding if I'm neurodiverse and you're neurodiverse, there are some things that are going to happen that we're both going to try to look at through a neurotypical lens. Thinking, she didn't text me back. She must not like me, or she must not want to talk to me, or I must have been annoying. It's hilarious that none of us stop to think, oh, they probably read the text or just forgot. I do that all the time. That's probably what they do.
I bought the cheap Amazon really crappy adhesive that just doesn't stick to anything.
Post-it notes. We all make that mistake sometimes, Jeannine. I am not judging you. I understand your love and respect for paper products.
I'm trying to not be impulsive and buy the expensive stuff. We digress.
And now back to our original program. ADHD working memory is what we were talking about, and how like it's a stack of sticky notes. And Jeannine's got some bad adhesive. Her stuff's falling off the fridge and off the screen. The message is disappearing to somewhere, but no matter where it's going, it's outside of our active awareness. And
Yeah, it's not emotional.
not emotional, it's not cognitive.
Those are two different things. It's like, you're not this person. I am that person who will spend 3 hours trying to find the perfect GIF, whatever those things to find. Like, I want to send you a happy birthday. So I'm going to spend 3 hours trying to find the perfect one. And then I'll get distracted and then forget. And then 3 days later, I'll be like, damn, wasn't it Jess's birthday? It's like, but I thought about you on your birthday. I spent 3 hours trying to find the perfect thing to send you.
So if you, as my friend, are going to spend 3 hours looking for a GIF to send me, and then you forget to send it, and then you spend another 3 hours sending me a belated birthday GIF, and then explaining to me that you were sending me in addition to the original GIF that you were going to send, that means more to me than you will ever know. I think it's important for things like that for us to recognize from each other, because ghosting, very real. It's so easy to talk about the experience of being ghosted. It is so hard to turn that lens around and be like, oh shit, here I am ghosting. Here I am doing these things. And I know I do them.
I think about the class that you and I met in, our certification class, all the great people we met from that group who also all are ADHD or ADHD. I have realized when I am texting anybody from that group or exchanging emails and suddenly they like go quiet and I don't get a response, it doesn't upset me. You know, like other people can do it and I like start questioning like, oh my God, did I say something wrong? Are they mad at me? Why are they not getting back to me? But anyone from that group, I am like, nope, you'll get back to me, when you can. Something came up. And sure enough, like 2 weeks later, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I forgot to respond.
Honest to goodness, that is uh my experience with our group as well. And not just when they don't get back to me, but I do not get freaked out when I don't get back to them. I'm not like, my gosh, this email got buried and I didn't message them for like 2 weeks. If it was important to them, I know they will totally poke at me and they'll do it because they know I've probably forgotten. It's so nice to have that automatic default of, oh yeah, it's not your fault. It's not my fault. Nobody's pissed. Something got missed or lost or whatever. And that's it. It's so freeing. But yeah, I will say from me ghosting others, that group of people is the few people in the world where I don't freak out because I forgot to respond back to them.
You know they're going to cut you slack. It's like they
Yes.
just are putting that Post-it back on your whiteboard. I
It's the understanding this is the ADHD common knowledge. You would think it would be hard to have common understandings for a spectrum disorder, but it isn't. It's
know.
actually much, much easier because you know they can fall under so many different things. If the neurotypical person doesn't get back to you, then yeah, you're wondering, oh no, did I mess up? Did I make an error? Or if you're not giving conditions under the idea that the person is neurodiverse and you're still looking at them through a neurotypical lens, thinking, oh no, oh no. But with that group of people, it's not. And probably just because we had a chance to actually be comfortable and unmask and ourselves in front of that group for what, 9 months?
No, like just over a year.
For over a year then, which makes a difference.
And we were well into it when I realized one time someone didn't respond to me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not freaking out. Usually I would go back and read my text like 5 times over trying to figure out what did I say? What did I do wrong?
You know,
Get yourself some ADHD friends, people. That's what we're saying.
ADHD communities are amazing and making friends. We are going to do a episode on friendships and all the amazing things that come along with it, just not today. Our transition music. Do, 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 do.
Love that. I love Girl from Ipanema. I love
When it comes to accidental ghosting, one of the worst is when it's an emotionally charged topic.
Yes.
You think, oh, I don't have the bandwidth for this right now. I need to stop and really think about what I'm wanting to say. People who tend to be well written rewrite and re edit the things we are going to say until we can get it to the point that it's perfect. But this can get complicated fast.
It's not just a quick reply, which I might be late in giving anyway, but if it's something that's really important, maybe it's even something that you've had conflict with this person about, suddenly it becomes very high stakes. And just panging out a text just seems suddenly really scary and hard.
that vulnerability is opening up, you're probably thinking about it nonstop. You don't reply, you ghost this person. The other person's probably thinking, you didn't reply, you don't care, or this isn't important to you. It can just snowball so quickly into an actual conflict.
You're not responding to them, but you're thinking about it like 24/7. What are you going to say? How are you going to do it? And then you suddenly realize, like, shit, it's been like a week. Now I can't just respond. And I haven't heard
Right.
back from them. So
We ourselves are typically sensitive to rejection. We are even more attuned to the rejection we may cause others to feel. How do I come back and say, "No, I've been thinking about this for like a week. I just didn't know what to say." And I will tell you how to do that. Are you ready?
yeah, how do
This
you
is
do it?
amazing information.
Okay.
You text them and you say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I've been thinking about this for 5 days." Whether they believe your ass or not, I don't know. I can't guarantee that. But I will tell you, if you say it, at least you actually said the truth.
You're so much braver than me. I would have said something like, oh shit, I dropped my phone in the toilet.
Well, I mean, seriously, think about it. I've talked about this with people before, like with books. I'm a big audiobook fan, and I'm always sitting here yelling at these characters, like, what are you doing? Why aren't you telling this person what's going on? The character is reflective, saying, but I can't say this, but I can't say that. And I'm like, that's not real life. That's such shit. And then I stop and think about it in situations like this, and I'm like, we literally, all of us, do the same
Oh,
shit.
totally.
We do not communicate just the most basic of things because we're like, no, that won't work. I spend so much freaking energy trying to figure out how to reply when I could just say the truth and be like, I'm really sorry. I did not mean to not write this. And sometimes I do that, but there's a good chance I'm going to spend another 3 or 4 days sitting there getting upset and letting my stomach like churn over how to start a new text to this person that I should have replied to way too long ago. Ghosting from the ADHD perspective, it's like a freaking pitchfork. It's multi-pronged and just goes too deep.
One of my really good friends, because she knows my inability sometimes to apply to text, is especially if it's like something that's like she's telling me something about her day and it really upset her. I want to be a good friend and come up with a nice thing to say, and um, it'll be one of those things like I'm like shit 4 days later. So I finally agreed with her. I'm like, I will just send you a thought bubble, which means I am thinking about you, but I'm can't figure out how to put it all into words. So I'm thinking about you and I'll get back to you.
That's a really good one. That's awesome. I do like that. I remember I read a series back in the fall, Rabbits. It's a fictional series. The idea was there was this group of friends, and whenever there was a I absolutely need you right this very second situation. Whenever it was like that, the person in need or in trouble would send a picture of a white towel. It could be a bath towel, it could be a dish towel, whatever. But they would send some type of gift. And that was the signal of, I need someone right this second. This isn't a, we're just messaging or whatever else. And I always like that idea because it lets you understand the level of importance as well,
That is true.
which I think could help with people with ADHD because sometimes when everything is important, it's hard for us to distinguish where we're going to go first or what we're going to take care of first. We look at it and we're busy. We're like, okay, we know that's the next thing on the list, but everything is on the list. And maybe something like that shared is good. But I do know one thing I really liked, and I learned from being in our cohort when we were doing coaching, there were people in that group that would say, how many days do you go before I should get worried about communicating? Like, if I don't hear from you in X amount of days, that's the get worried thing. Like, we have a mutual friend, ours is 7 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
7 days, if I do not hear from that person, then I get worried.
So it's not about like being mad they didn't reply. It's more the concern of like proof of life.
Because they openly know that they are bad about texting back, even though texting is their preferred method of communication. I would be freaking out because I wouldn't hear from her for like 3 or 4, maybe 5 days. She's also really bad about losing her phone.
And it is that people need that much time because 7 days seems excessive. But yeah, no, I get it for sure.
It did seem excessive, but once I knew, I felt so much better. For me, my turnaround time is less than 24 hours. But I tell people, if you don't hear from me within 24 hours, resend it because I read it and forgot to reply. And I'm very open about that. And I will tell people who I'm starting to be friends with, like, especially new people, I try to get in there early because I know that I ghost people and I feel so horrible. I will feel so horrible. I will make myself physically sick sometimes, stressing. So the newer people in my life, once I figured out I had ADHD and once I understood how it actually affects me,
Hmm.
that's what I went with. And so that I'm open and honest. And some people might be like, you're making it all about you, blah, blah, blah. Yes, yes, I am. I am letting you know that I am not trying to be an asshole and that
Yeah.
I care for you. But if it's an emergency, everyone who knows me and loves me knows that if it's an emergency, you call me. Don't text me. Don't ping me. I might not hear the ding. You call until I pick up the phone because I will be there, period.
Yeah.
That is one of my redeeming qualities. I might not do great with emails or text, but if you need me in that moment, you call me. I will come running.
It is about setting expectations, not expectations so much, but kind of the ground rules. I mean, it sounds strict, but this is how it works for me. And I remember, I think you were one of the first people to ask me, what is your preferred method of communication? And I thought, oh my God, no one's ever asked me that. And I had to kind of think about it. Having that conversation with someone, as you said, yes, if you really need me right now, text is probably not the best way. So call me. Hyperfocus as a reason to not respond to someone. I know this really happens to me is if I've got something going on, I can only think about that one thing at that one time. If you text me in the middle of it, I probably won't even, I'll see like you text, but I won't even look at it or read it. And then when I'm done with the thing I was so concentrated on, I completely forget to go back and be like, oh, didn't so-and-so text me? For me, that is something that happens a lot.
Agreed. If I have a new hyperfocus, especially one that I am like truly
Mhm.
vibing with, and that's about the only time I use the word vibing. But if I'm really like into it and vibing, you can bet your ass you're going to be ghosted by me because I am in the zone and nothing else exists but my happy new little perfect hyperfocus.
Happened. And it's not like you're going to go back and repeat those 3 hours when you're out of your hyper focus haze that you're going to think, wait, did somebody text me?
I am bubble girl. I am inside my own little world, no matter how hard I try. Well, to be quite honest, I will not try hard because I will be in my hyper focus and I will be happy. And we're talking about the happy hyper focuses. I don't really want to talk about the manic hyper focuses because
No.
ghosting definitely happens during that too. I'd rather think of it in a happy perspective. If I am in my happy perspective, everything's going to go to the wayside, including regular self care and life maintenance.
Very true. Yeah.
Unfortunately, for those that I love and those who may need information from me, that also includes responding to text.
Executive function. Because I think sometimes just thinking of the steps it's going to take to reply to somebody can feel really overwhelming.
Wanting to reply and being able to reply are not the same thing. You're going to open the app, and apps are rough for me. If it's outside of my regular text bubble, if we're looking at like multiple apps too, if I have to do like Snapchat, Marco Polo, and WhatsApp, and everything's flowing through there, and I'm having to remember to reply from multiple directions, I am screwed. It just increases the chances of the overwhelm, and then the people who are requesting information from me getting completely ghosted.
Two, that's when you get into that app that you haven't been into for a while and it asks for your password. That's just never going to work. Before you can even think about what to say, you got to get yourself in the app.
If we're like at a 5-step emotional project, I am not going to run to respond to any of that.
No, not at all.
All of that wrapped up in a bow can trigger task initiation paralysis like it's nobody's business.
Which also means the longer it sits, the bigger it feels.
And the bigger it feels, the harder it is to start.
It just goes round and round and round.
After all this, you want to know whose doorstep we end up on? Our old friend Shane. Now we've reached the tipping point of no response.
It is super awkward to respond at that time anyway.
You're already feeling like you messed up.
You're upset. You're convinced they're upset. It feels like I have to repair this relationship instead of just
Mhm.
being able to say, great, I'll meet you Friday at 5.
Something interesting happens when we do actually decide to send that belated message.
Most of that horrible stuff we thought was going to happen probably hasn't. That friendship is still, they're still there.
I can very easily lean into catastrophe, trying to predict the future and just catastrophizing myself all the way home.
Usually the other person is just like, oh, hey, I was wondering why I hadn't heard from you.
Isn't that the best feeling? It's like, it's so humbling and like, but you just feel like, hey, hey,
Yeah.
you.
They just, oh, I was worried about you. You're thinking, oh, here I thought you hated me.
A lot of times our relationships are usually more durable than what our ADHD rumination will allow us to see or admit or understand.
If this episode made you think of someone you've been meaning to respond to,
Could this be a sign?
send that message.
Hmm. Not the perfect one,
Nope, just the real one.
because most of the time the friendship didn't disappear.
Your brain wandered off for a while.
Share this with someone that maybe you ghosted.
And until next time, remember, you're not alone and you're not the only one who's angry on the inside.